day that we had at Houston, as you can see here, we went to the NASA Space Center. The price of the tickets is $30 per person per adult, and it goes on a descent for children and senior citizens and so on. You can also even get a lunch with an astronaut for $70, which is an interesting option to consider. NASA Johnson Space Center has been a leader in human space exploration for more than half a century, and I think it's very interesting that you obviously cannot just walk through it freely, but you get in line, as you see here, and you get on this little minibus, and it takes you around a few different places that you can check out, and you get, like, that's part of the ticket that you have purchased. Make sure that you do all the necessities, like go to the bathroom and such, before the tour, because the line might be pretty long and they're not really any particular bathroom stops along the way, because you're just sort of jumping from one place to the next. And the presentations that you do get are very interesting. You really do go through and look around the buildings and inside some of the buildings, and all the things that they have, rockets and such, on display. It's an interesting, really worthwhile visit if you have a few hours in Houston. There is also astronaut corpse area on site. So basically they bury their astronauts there on site, and they have like a big field with the little signs of the astronauts that died during space missions under the trees too. Established in 1961 on nearly 1,700 acres southeast downtown Houston as the Manned Spacecraft Center, the center was renamed in 1973 to honor the late president and Texas native Lyndon Johnson. From the Mercury, Gemini, Apollo, and Space Shuttle programs to the International Space Station and Orion, the center has been at the forefront of America's human spaceflight programs. Johnson's nearly 10,000 persons workforce helps boost NASA's standing as one institution where creative and talented people, so problem solvers, push the boundaries of exploration and innovation. And you'll hear a few presentations through the video basically about what is happening here. There are robotic labs and flight simulators and rockets and control operator rooms where people, one is where they learn how to control rockets and help astronauts solve the problems that are out there, and another one where the actual, there's an actual communication with the space station.
We're flying manned missions from when we fly in conjunction with the commercial space companies, SpaceX and Boeing. Now this is our newest major control room. It was opened in 1995. It is called the White Vicar. Vicar is an acronym. NASA loves acronyms. They make up acronyms for everything. Vicar actually means Flight Control Room, FCR. Now, the first mission ever flown out of this room was shuttle mission STS-70. STS, their acronym. Space, Transportation, System, STS. Now, we flew STS-70 out of this room. We flew a lot of other shuttles out of this room until we flew the final shuttle out of this room, STS-135 in 2011. We then closed the room, then later on upgraded it and modernized it, so it is now ready for the future. Now, we have two other control rooms in this building over on the other side of the building. They are the control rooms that were here when we first opened this building way back in 1965. We have the Green Vicar, otherwise known as Apollo Mission Control or Historic Mission Control. Now, the Green Vicar or Apollo Mission Control is currently closed. You see, July 20th of this year, 2019, we will be celebrating the 50th anniversary of the day we first landed on the moon. So we are currently renewing Apollo mission. No, wait, no, that's wrong. We are currently re-olding Apollo mission control. So on that day, it will open as Apollo mission control, July 20th, 1969, the day we landed on the moon. All of the data that's displayed, that will be displayed on the screens, both on the big screens and on the consoles, will be data from the day we landed on the moon. All of the original consoles will have equipment that we had during that time. So if you want to see what Apollo Mission Control looked like when we landed on the moon, please come back sometime after July 20th. Now the other control room we had over there is called the Brown Picker. The Brown Picker went in an entirely different direction. You see, November of 2000, we started putting people up on the ISS. Now, their acronym, International Space Station. When we started putting people up on the ISS, we needed to support them. We needed a control room for them. So what we did was we took the Brown Picker, we upgraded it, modernized it, and now it is the ISS control room. And if you look up at the screens on either side, you will see live views of the ISS control room, which is open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, because we have people up on the ISS 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So, we have these people in the Brown Picker controlling the ISS. We don't have any other missions flying right now, so what are all these people doing in this room? Well, what they are doing is they are running a simulation. What we do when this room is not being used for a real mission is we run simulations out of this room. We run simulations for a number of reasons. Among them are, what we do is train new flight controllers how to work their console and their position. But we also use it for the veteran flight controllers, because what we do is when we're running a simulation, we have a separate group that puts unexpected problems into that simulation, problems that could occur, so that the flight controllers have to react, figure out how to fix them, and then fix those problems. And that means things like, a non-critical motor stopped running. Actually, today the actual ISS has a whole bunch of yellow lines because we've stopped charging some batteries because we're going to do a spacewalk and change out those batteries. So we want to discharge them so they don't cause a problem to the astronauts that are doing the spacewalk. They won't shock them. So there's a whole bunch of yellow lines on the real one today saying, hey, these batteries are not charging. Yeah, well, we know about it. Okay, so anyway, that's there. And the red line that you see up there, that's a warning that says, hey, you got to fix this now. This could be a major problem. That's the trajectory of the ISS. If you look along that trajectory, you can find a white circle with what looks like a butterfly with rectangular wings in it. Right now it looks like it's right over the Korean Peninsula, right above Australia, over on the right-hand side. That's where the ISS is right now, traveling at 17,500 miles an hour. It makes one orbit around the Earth every 90 minutes. And an astronaut could stand in front of one of the windows and see 16 sunrises and 16 sunsets every day. But let me tell you, they are a little too busy to do that.
For more than 4 decades, Johnson Space Center has been the world leader in human spaceflight operations for NASA. The Manned Spacecraft Center in 1963, with Gemini 4 as the first flight controlled here, and became a hub of activity as the Gemini program ended and the Apollo program gained momentum. The Apollo program obtained the national goal set by President Kennedy in 1961 of landing men on the moon and returning them safely within the decade of the 1960s. The eyes of the world were in Houston and the Space Center in July 20th, 1969, as Neil Armstrong reported from the lunar surface. Houston, the Eagle has landed. Hours later, Armstrong descended the ladder of the lunar module, Eagle, proclaiming that one small step for a man and one giant leap for mankind, as he took his historic first steps on the moon's surface. Later in 1973, this center was renamed the Lyndon Johnson Space Center and has been the heart of the manned spaceflight program ever since, controlling flights from Gemini, Apollo, Skylab, and Apollo Soyuz through the current shuttle program is the responsibility of Johnson Space Center's scientists, engineers, astronauts, and other staff members. There are about 10,000 people working for the center overall. So this center is also training base and home for American nation's astronauts and the site of mission control. The operation as Johnson Space Center include the development, production, and delivery of space shuttle orbiters, the testing of spacecraft associated systems, the development and integration of experiments for human spaceflight activities, supporting scientific, engineering, and medical research, the selection and training of astronauts, and the operation of human spaceflights. Astronaut gallery. Looks like there's so many Russian people.
The station spans the length of a U.S. football field and it travels at 17,500 miles per hour or 20,000 kilometers per hour. Now that is 5 miles or 8 kilometers per second. The station is going to orbit the Earth 16 times per day. That means you're going to see a sunrise and a sunset every 90 minutes. Now the ISS was built to house people, so I am looking for a young volunteer to begin astronaut training for today. Anyone help me out up here? Come on up. What is your name?
Lux.
Lux? And where are you from, Lux?
Austin.
Alrighty, well, welcome to Space in Houston. Audience members, a round of applause, please. Now, Lux, are you ready to begin your training? Over here, and there is one on this side. Now, the last strap is for your head, just to keep it from bobbing up and down on it as you sleep, but we're not going to worry about that one, okay? So, how does that feel?
Good.
Oh, you think that feels good? Most people think it's a little uncomfortable. But let's still put you up here in the top bunk, alright? Because it's going to feel a lot better for you, I promise. No, I'm just kidding. You don't have to worry. In microgravity, there is no up, down, east, west, floor, or ceiling. So we can have one astronaut here, one up here, one along this wall, and one right where I'm standing, and they would all feel the exact same. Like here on Earth, nobody should feel comfortable sleeping strapped to a wall for 8 hours. So let's just get you untucked. In fact, our astronauts must work out 2 hours a day, 7 days a week. Expedition Crew 59, which is aboard the station right now, uses very similar machines to this ergometer, as well as a treadmill and an advanced resistance exercise device as seen in the video. That machine actually allows our astronauts to lift weights while in a weightless environment. Alright, Lux, you have an hour and 58 more minutes to go. You got this. I'm just kidding. That's enough working out for you today. Good job, astronaut. Can you stand right there for me, please? Now, ladies and gentlemen, it is the moment that we have all been waiting for. The waste hygiene compartment, or as we like to call it, the space toilet. Now, on the station, there is no gravity, so things work a little different. First, we push this button here, and that starts the suction. Now, your number 2 goes right into there, but it has a very small hole. So you have to make sure that you have good aim and that you let go in the right direction. Whenever you're ready to go, hey, you just go. Now, we can't have any water in our toilets, so we rely on suction to do the job of what gravity does for us here on Earth. So the solid waste gets sucked into a container and we later get rid of it. But we save the liquid waste. Now the liquid waste is going to go right in here. Just remember, water is a valuable commodity aboard the station, so we must save it all. Like I said, it's going to go into here. Oh, but it's going to come out right here. That is right, ladies and gentlemen. We drink it. Again. And again. And you guys guessed it. Again. So, how's that for a refreshment? That's nice and tasty, huh? Space life is glamorous, y'all. So not only will recycling water and a closed system help us get further into space, but we are using this process for Earth right now. Not just for recycling, but also for purifying to help us save lives here on Earth. Alright, Lex, can I have you just scoot over just a little bit over here? Just because I need to go to the other side of you. Hopefully we haven't killed your appetite because you are going to want to wash your hands before you eat. But, tell me what we're missing. What do you need to wash your hands? That is right, we don't have a sink. Because like I said, water is very precious aboard the station. So our astronauts use antibacterial wipes for their hands and larger wipes for the body. Now for astronauts just want to go ahead and wash their hair, NASA has provided them with powder shampoo. You can easily just rub it to the scalp. Alright, let's float on over here to the galley area. This is where you and your fellow astronauts will be floating around. Some upside down, some right side up. Probably just talking about your day and preparing your meals. Well, these days our astronauts have a wide variety of delicious beverages and meals to choose from just by adding water. Now this is actually the same kind of water that we just talked about. Now we can't let go of what we're using or else it will float away. So all of our food packaging has Velcro on it along with all of our walls and surfaces. So in the case of an emergency, if you just let go of your meal, it's most likely going to make a mess in the cabin and your crew members will be upset. All you have to do, just go ahead and strap it to the wall. You can go ahead and deal with that emergency. And whenever you're done, well, your chicken and rice is waiting on you. Alrighty, so we've demonstrated sleeping, exercising, going to the bathroom, personal hygiene, and food preparation. But the International Space Station isn't just a place to live. It is a space laboratory where we conduct scientific research that is impossible to do here on Earth. So Lex, with your help, we're going to do some of this research, alright? Alright, let's head back this way. I want you to please put your back along this wall with your arms down by your side. What I'm going to do is just give you a quick body scan, okay? There's nothing to it. The only thing I'm going to add is that it is going to hurt just a little bit when it touches your skin. Just a little bit, nothing too crazy. But it also does leave a very small permanent mark somewhere on your body. Now the downside about this, you never know where that mark is going to end up. So just please make sure to check yourself when you get back to Earth, okay? Alright. Hey Lex, just messing with you, buddy. You're going to be perfectly fine. With the scans loading, I'm going to ask that you please head down the stairs back to your seat on Earth because I want you to see what we're going to do with your body scan. But it force. And when two blobs of water merge into each other, they are going to form a larger blob of water because physics appears to behave very different in microgravity. And when that water comes into contact with an absorptive surface like that towel, a wicking action will powerfully suck it up like a sponge would here on Earth. Alright, I think that body scan is ready to come on the big board. Here we get to see how our astronauts react to living in microgravity. While the fluids in the body will slowly move up from the arms and the legs. Now this is going to cause the faces to become puffy and the legs to become thin. Astronauts aboard the International Space Station have given it a highly scientific name. They decided to call it chicken legs. Also, you are going to lose bone calcium and your spine does grow up to 2 inches. Also, on microgravity, your heart slowly starts to shrink. But don't worry, when you come back down here to Earth, it should gradually return back to its normal size. Both the calcium loss and many other things, recovery is going to be difficult. That's why our astronaut-like monks are willing test subjects to help us understand how reduced gravity has the effect on the distant space travelers. In other words, guys, before we make our way to Mars, we are going to have to find a way to prevent osteoporosis. Now, biological processes isn't the only thing that's different in microgravity, because chemical reactions behave different as well. Let's just go ahead and take a look at the... Oh, wait a moment. There we are. Let's just go ahead and take a look at the simple candle flame here on Earth. You see the shape that the flame takes. If you've ever lit a candle here on Earth, you should recognize the shape that the flame forms. It makes a teardrop. Have you ever wondered why? Well, the flame makes hot air, so it's going to rise. Now, this is going to cause cooler air to rush in and take its place. This process is called convection, and it's why flames look the way that they do here on Earth, round at the bottom and pointy at the top. But in microgravity, hot air can't rise, so there is no convection because there is no airflow. So what does this mean? As you can see, the flame is getting burned in a round globe shape instead of what we're used to here on Earth. And check this out. It burns more completely, much cleaner, and more efficiently. Having a laboratory microgravity gives us the opportunity to find out why it does this and how can we do that back here on Earth. This is very important for future engine designs. Also, our microgravity research on the physics of combustion will help with the solution of less efficient fuels. So as you can see, guys, the microgravity environment of the International Space Station is a great place to be doing experiments that we just can't necessarily do up here on Earth. Let's try another example. Let's try combining large amounts of lead and tin here on Earth. Lead is heavier, so it's going to sink to the bottom while the tin will stay on top. These two, they're just like oil and water. They don't mix together. But in microgravity, these two can easily be mixed to create a whole new alloy that can be used in all kinds of things, like electronic parts for our mobile devices or our computers. This is very easy to make, we just can't do it over here on Earth. Now, the microgravity environment of the ISS is also like a unique laboratory for medical research and development. Let's say that you're a scientist here on Earth studying a nasty bug or even just a disease. You need cells to do research on. Only problem is, with Earth's gravity, these cells are not going to be able to grow large outside of the human body without their own weight crushing them. They die. But in microgravity, cells thrive. They grow bigger, they grow faster, and they grow in 3 dimensions. This is a huge medical breakthrough. So we can generate large quantities of these cells, and our scientists can study the data back here on Earth. So in the coming years, we should see many amazing advancements in disease control, genetics, biochemistry, and organ transplants, all thanks to the International Space Station. So who knows what we'll discover next? Well, as you've seen here today, the International Space Station is helping to better lives here on Earth right now. But it's what it's offering our future that's just even more exciting. Now, the ISS is just a stepping stone off of this planet beyond lower Earth's orbit. To the moon. To asteroids. To our next destination, the red planet of Mars. And of course, even to the stars beyond. Now, who knows, ladies and gentlemen, our next future explorers could be sitting with us in our audience today. Alright, can I have my volunteer come back up with us? I got one last job for you, my man. Carefully make your way up the stairs. I want to give you a gift for being my volunteer. Go ahead and float on over to this side of the station because I have a few things that I want to give you. But first, I want to start with a picture of astronaut Garrett Reisman. He was part of Expedition Crew 16 and 17. He spent 3 months aboard the International Space Station and performed a 7-hour spacewalk. Also, if you do want to look up anything NASA related, those links are going to help you out. And I am very happy to say you are going to go home with your very own bottle of recycled urine. Lunch, my friend. That is all for you. Ladies and gentlemen, one last round of applause.